Hi, welcome back to Geometry. This is Chapter 3, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. This is our first section, Section 3.1, Lines and Angles. Our objectives in this section are to identify relationships between figures in space and to identify angles formed by two lines and a transversal. A concept essential to your understanding is that not all lines and not all planes intersect. So take notes in your note template now about parallel and skew. Parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. And remember from our previous lesson that coplanar means together in the same plane. The symbol, two lines next to each other, seen here, means is parallel to. So the symbols here, line AE and line BF are parallel. And you can see that by these little arrows. And line AD and line BC are parallel. And again, by these arrows. These arrows don't mean congruent. They mean parallel. Skew lines are non-coplanar. That means they are not together in the same plane. They are not parallel and they will never intersect. AB and CG are skew lines. AB is in the top plane, plane ABCD, and CG is in the side plane, BCGF. These two lines will never intersect. They are not parallel and they are not in the same plane. So they are skew. That's what we call those lines. Parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. We've already discussed these a little in class. In this picture, plane ABCD, which is the top, and plane EFGH, which is the bottom, are parallel planes. You use arrows to show lines are parallel. So one arrow matches to one arrow and two to two. Doesn't mean they are congruent. It means that they are parallel. So line AE is parallel to line BF and line AD is parallel to line BC. Parallel lines are coplanar. When we look at this picture, we ask which plane contains line AB? Well, the top plane contains line AB, ABCD. The side contains AB, ABFE. But there is also another plane here, a plane that you would have to imagine. It contains AB and it attaches it to GH. It goes diagonal through this. You need to be able to visualize these planes. And just like that, there is a plane that connects this top to this bottom that cuts through diagonally. Let's identify some relationships in space. Think of each segment in the diagram as a part of a line. Which of the lines appear to fit the descriptions? So let's find a line that's parallel to line AB. First, let's identify line AB. A line parallel to that would be line DC. You got it. These are parallel. Let's find a line that is skew to AB. So remember, skew means it's non-coplanar, so it's not in the same plane, and it's not parallel to it. So a skew line to AB, well, an example of that could be line EC. That's not parallel to line AB, and it's not in the same plane. There's another one. Do you see another one? And what other line? Yeah, ED is skew to AB. These will never touch AB, they'll never intersect, and they are not parallel. So now let's find a line that's parallel to BC. See if you can identify one. Here's BC. What line is parallel to it? AD. That's true. Line AD And lastly, let's talk about some parallel planes. Parallel planes, that's like the front and back cover of a book. They're never going to touch. Parallel planes, so let's say, is plane ABE, so that's the front here. Is it parallel to plane CDE? If you said no, you're right. They are not parallel because they intersect. Their intersection is at point E. And parallel planes never intersect. Now you try and identify some of these relationships in space. Pause the video and see if you can find whether these are parallel, skew, or perpendicular examples. So take a minute, pause the video, and see if you can identify them correctly. If you said that segment DE and segment CF were skew, you were right. They're not in the same plane and they're never going to intersect. If you said that ADE and BE, AD, BE, and CF are all parallel lines, that's true. And remember, the symbol for parallel lines is like this, kind of like the two L's that are in parallel. If you said that plane ABC and plane DEF are parallel, that's true. And again, the symbol for parallel is like the two L's in the word parallel. And then lastly, if you said that segment BE and AB were perpendicular, you were right. And we've already learned that perpendicular lines intersect to form a right angle. Symbol for perpendicular is like an upside down capital T. It's essential to your understanding that you know when a line intersects two or more lines, the angles formed at the intersection points create special angle pairs. So in this example, we have two lines. Let's call this line L and line M. And they are intersected by this line. We'll call it T. A transversal, line T here, is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at different points. So in our diagram, line T is the transversal for line L and line M. When a line intersects two or more coplanar lines, it creates 8 angles. Some of these angles lie in between the two lines. The angles that lie in between the two lines are interior angles. These ones are interior. Then there are angles that lay not on the inside, but on the outside. And these angles are called the exterior angles. So we have 8 angles that are created when two lines are cut by a transversal, and 4 of them would be on the interior and 4 of them on the exterior. When two lines are cut by a transversal, 2 angles are called corresponding angles if they occupy corresponding positions. Corresponding positions means they are in the same spot but on the different line. So again, when we're talking about those lines, here's line L and line M again. You should draw this picture and label it and write these angles. They're color-coded for you here in this picture. If you use colored pencils in your notes, it might be very useful to you. So angle 1, which is here, and angle 5, which is here, they are both on the top of their line on the left side of the transversal. They are in the same spot but on the different lines. Angle 1 is on line L, angle 5 is on line M. On the top, on the left. They are corresponding angles. Another pair of corresponding angles would be 4 and 8. Angle 4 is on the bottom of line L on the left. Angle 8 is on the bottom of line M on the left when they're cut by the transversal. So they're corresponding. Another pair of corresponding angles would be 2 and 6. 2 and 6, they occupy this top right space. And then finally the last pair of corresponding angles would be 3 and 7. 3 is on the bottom right of line L, 7 is on the bottom right of line M. So they're corresponding because they occupy corresponding positions. They're in the same spot, just on the different line. These are corresponding angles. There are 4 pairs of corresponding angles when 2 lines are cut by a transversal. When 2 lines are cut by a transversal, 2 angles are alternate exterior angles if they lie outside of the 2 lines on the opposite sides. So alternate, opposite, exterior, outside. So angle 1 and angle 7 are a pair of alternate exterior angles. They're on the outside of the 2 lines. Remember, we just talked about that a few minutes ago. These are the exterior angles out here. 1 is up, 7 is down, 1 is left, 7 is right. So they're alternate of the transversal. Up, down, left, right. 2 and 8 are another pair of alternate exterior angles. And again, they are on opposite sides of the transversal. 8 is on the left, 2 is on the right. 8 is down, 2 is up. And they're on the exterior, on the outside of these lines. Alternate exterior angles. Then we have alternate interior angles. The only difference here is that these are on the inside, between the 2 lines. But they're on opposite sides of the transversal, just like the alternate exterior. But these ones are interior. They're inside. And again, 2 pair. Angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. And angles 3 and 5 are alternate interior angles. 3's up, 5's down, 3's right, 5's left. They are alternate. And they're on the inside between line L and line M. The next pair we have are called consecutive interior angles. When 2 lines are cut by a transversal, 2 angles are consecutive interior angles, or another name for them is same side interior angles. If they lie between, which is the reason for the word interior, but on the same side. Consecutive means one right after another of the transversal. So in this situation, angles 4 and 5 are consecutive interior, and angles 3 and 6 are a pair of consecutive interior. Or you could call them same side interior. They lie on the same side of the transversal, inside, consecutive interior. List all pairs of angles that fit the description. So, looking at your notes, take a minute, pause this video, and list all the pairs of angles that are corresponding, alternate exterior, alternate interior, or same side interior angles. Take a minute. There are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 3, angle 2 and angle 4, angle 5 and angle 7, angle 6 and angle 8. Now name the alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior, those are the angles that lie outside of the lines that are cut by the transversal on alternate sides of the transversal. So angle 1 and angle 5, angle 4 and angle 8. Those are the 2 pairs of alternate exterior angles. Now name the alternate interior angles. The alternate interior angles are on the inside between the 2 lines that are cut by the transversal. One up, one down, one left, one right. So 3 and 7 are a pair. And then 2, and 6 are the other pair. Lastly, let's name the consecutive interior angles, or the same side interior. So same side interior or consecutive interior, that would be here. Angles 2 and 3, and angles 6 and 7 are another pair. Now we've listed all the pairs of angles. Notice the corresponding angles are the only ones that have 4 pair. All the others have just 2 pair. Let's try this one. Complete the statement with corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, or same side interior. Take a minute, pause the video, and then check your answers afterwards. So check your answers. 4 and 8, they're alternate interior angles. 4 and 8. 2 and 6 are alternate exterior angles. They're on the outside, on opposite sides, one up, one down. 1 and 8, those are same side interior angles. They're between the 2 lines. 7 and 2. 7 and 2. We don't have a rule about them. They're on the same side and they're on the outside. So these are actually called same side exterior angles, but we don't have a rule about them. We're going to investigate a rule about them in class on Tuesday. Then we have 4 and 5, another pair of same side interior, or if you like to call them consecutive interior, and 5 and 1, alternate interior angles. If you have any questions on this, please make a note of it for class on Tuesday. Identify the relationships for these given angles. So you notice the lines are a little bit tilted. These lines are still the lines cut by the transversal. Take a minute and see if you can identify these relationships and then check your answers. So again, check to see if you were right. 1 and 2, they occupy the same space but on the different lines. They're both on the bottom right of the transversal. Bottom of their line, right of the transversal. So they're corresponding angles. Same spot, different line. 4 and 3, they're alternate interior. They're on different sides of the transversal between the 2 lines in the interior. And then lastly, 1 and 6, they're another example of alternate interior angles. It is essential, absolutely essential, that you know these terms. You have to study them. We've discussed this in class. If it helps you to make flashcards, if it helps you to make a note sheet, you need to study these terms for Tuesday's class. So please make sure that you're familiar with the vocabulary that was in these notes. And make sure that you write down any questions that you might have so that we can address them in class first thing before we do our activity on Tuesday. Enjoy your long weekend. See you Tuesday.